What's up, Wednesday? We're back. It's me, Jason. Welcome back to the channel. Woo! Is it warm out there? Today is a warm one. The last 2-3 days have been extremely hot, but man, you just go out there and you're frying like an egg, baby. Let's get through that intro and we'll show you some progress we got here on the 55 and an eBay score. Be right back. Alrighty, so we're going to talk about this guy. This is the kit that we're currently working on for the drag and drive group build. I love my AMTs. I know a lot of people rag them, but I don't know, maybe they just work for me. You know, it's just like there's guys that love the MPC stuff, and there's a lot of MPC stuff that I really just don't care for. But I like these AMT kits. So we've made a little bit more progress, and I got some comments from the last videos. People wanted to see the cage and interior tub of what I was describing. So I'm kind of doing a little fitment today, so I'll show you the interior tub, and you'll see some of the cage. But I did start and get some more glued together here on the motor, since some of the parts are dry now. Some people want to know what an SMX motor is. So SMX is Steve Morris Racing Engines. He's in Michigan, and he creates an all billet, his version of a 481X, basically. If you're familiar with that, that's an Alan Johnson motor. If you're not familiar with it, I should have said. But it's an all billet motor that is used very commonly in drag racing. I'm not sure if any guys have ever used them in like truck pulls or anything, but very, very popular in drag racing. But Steve designed his where he has external. I can probably try and get this, maybe not, it's just too bright. You can see right there alongside the block, that represents the plate on the real one. So Steve was able to take the 481X design, and he incorporated a lot of stuff that is his idea, but he made these things water jacket blocks, so you can actually use these in drag and drive events. Now I do think he has one that's a solid block that is, you know, non-water jacket, but all the plates on the sides of the block, on the front of the block and stuff, and I think there's some in the valley as well, all go on and seal. So basically the water passages have been recreated on where he wants water and how he's controlling that, and then sealing it up to where it still acts strength-wise like a solid block. Basically you're just adding weight to it by putting water in it, because water adds up after time. But these are a very good, very top demand motor in the drag and drive. A lot of guys love this SMX. So we've got this thing started to kind of detail it up here a little bit, showing a little bit of signs, being it's a billet. So billet blocks are somewhat shiny but somewhat dull, and we're trying to tone down that color a little bit. We're using some very light homemade black. It's almost like a carbon gray, you know, charcoal grayish color. Washes that I created to not totally just kill all the sheen, but I want a little bit of a sheen, but I want it to look like it's billet. And then I wanted the intake manifold and the valve covers to be black, and then we've highlighted the Steve Morris SMX logo that is in the top of the valve covers. So making some progress there, which is good. I'm going to start painting the exhaust here in the next day or two, and we'll start getting all the exhaust painted, the turbos painted, and the downpipe and some of those components. We got the whole front drive assembly here that we've got to paint that stuff, and I've already got the heads all drilled out there for spark plugs. So, well, we're not going to put spark plugs in, but we're going to put the plug wires in it. But making some great progress on that, which is good. Now the people wanted to know about the interior tub. So here's the 55. We've got the interior tub in it. So yes, it has a brass cage in it. You are correct. Somebody said, really? Brass? Yes, it is brass. I'll show you in a minute. But they also wanted to know what I meant by widening it, and they couldn't believe that it took that much, meaning 1/8 of an inch on each side of the tub. So I'll show you right here. You can see, because I haven't ground these out on the bottom yet, you can see these 2 big chunks of styrene in here to widen that seat out and widen that tub out. That tub is very tapered. Let's face it, it was not designed to open the doors. So it really doesn't matter to scale for the company to just come down straight perfect thinking, well, somebody's going to open the doors someday, we better get this to scale. Now, I'm sure there's people that have cut doors open and not done this level of trying to get the interior tub correct. I'll tell you my reasons. My reasons is if I didn't do that to the interior tub, the doors, being that I cut the cards off, would have been so thick that it would have been way out of scale. So what I had done is I cut the cards out and then mocked the cards up, and then I knew how thick this door needed to be. Also what I did, because I'm a big sucker for measurements on stuff, is I have a friend of mine that has a real 55, and I went over there, took some pictures of the door jambs, and took some measurements. So that's what I did. I created all the door jambs in there. You know, everything we created. Now you can see some of that cage right there. This is the passenger side of the brass cage. Here's the driver's side over here. Everything clears. You can see there's the dash bar. So we kind of bent the dash bar down along, and we're following the bottom side of the dash. But I kind of had to make it out of where the steering column will clear the bar. We've got the back rear hoop here, and the down bars going through the speaker deck back there, because we do, which you're not going to be able to see because it's primer black, but the back seat is in the back of this car, street car. The only thing I'm questioning now with the cage, I'm pretty confident, you know, with all the fitment here, you know, the doors close real nice with the cage, the interior tub. Few little sanding I got to do on the one door. The driver's door's got a little bit of a gap here that I want to get correct, but that's going to be pretty easy. I already identified where it's hitting. And but what I am considering now, rabbit hole, is, you know, we've got a nice competition cage here, but I'm just wondering now if I should solder in the funny car cage. I think I'm going to put the funny car cage hoop in this thing, even though it's a street car. I just think it's going to look more accurate to the ET that I'm projecting, or my story is that this car would be capable of running at a drag and drive event. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Shouldn't take me long to bend up that bar and solder that in, and same with the top and then the back bars itself. Somebody had asked, how bad is the front wheel wells after you cut them out? Not bad. You can see here, right there, there's a little bit of a gap that I got a Bondo in there, because when I widened them and cut them out, it also was going to suck the chassis up too far and the gap would have been bad. So I had to kind of add a strip there, and then being the way I cut them out with a Dremel. Everybody gives me crap about that. So that line wasn't perfectly straight. Now, initially I was just going to cut them out and leave them out, but then I decided to really compact the turbos in there, and I wanted that 55, flare, that look, and kind of like we integrated the race car into a stock 55. So I decided to put them back in. If I would have known, meaning I planned it out, I would have scribed them all out, and then I would have had probably a better consistent line. So now I got to put a little bit of putty up there and then reprime that interior or that engine bay area again, make sure everything's good, and then from there we can go forward. But we're making progress, having a ton of fun doing this, and I just love scratch building. I like getting creative. I like cutting some stuff up and making stuff as I want. Oh yeah, the other question, somebody said, so you're not going to put a bumper on it? No. There's the bumper holes. So the frame horns do go through there yet, and so when I widen the front, it still is reshaped and pointed to where the frame horns will still come out the thing, and the bumper has been reformed to go around this a little bit better. So the bumper will still be there in the stock height. The chin spoiler will be set back and below the bumper with this modification. So like I said, I'm really striving to still let this thing look like a 55, but a 55 that is capable of running a really fast time. So a lot of fun here. I enjoy this, I really do. Now, one of the kits that I've been watching for a long time, I've been watching for the very original. I've shown kind of like a zombie version of this that I started when I was like 13, when I chopped up this car and was pro streeting it, and I never got it done. But I've been watching for the original, and the originals, you see them here and there, but a little bit more than I care to spend for it. But I did find the re-release of it, and even the re-releases they can go 40-50 bucks. I found a really good seller on eBay that always posts a lot of models, so I watch his site quite a bit, or his store, that's I think the term you'd want. And he had this guy on there, and I got it for a really good price. I don't think $36 is a bad price. Look at that. I got the re-release of the Heavy Chevy. I love this kit. I had probably 2 or 3 of these things as a kid. I have a body that is completely stock, but it's missing parts in one of the tubs. And then I also showed one that I chopped up and I pro streeted the back of it. And I said to people in that video, should I just leave it the way it is? Should I finish it? Should I just go crazy with it, start over? Everybody was like, either leave it the way it is or continue on where you've started, meaning try and build it the way you would have when your initial mindset was there, and you would have something that would be completed as a child. And I kind of agree with that, right? Just to kind of throw the parts and pieces that I was initially tending to do, being it was a kit bash pro street, and just complete it, right? Obviously the paint job will probably be better today than what I would have been able to do then. I'm not gonna, just try and make it look like an orange peel the way I painted back then, but anyhow, this is cool. I was really excited to win this thing. I think what I want to do to honor the kit is to build it like the box art someday. And the first one I ever built was to the box art back in the day. And of course, I had the big blower on there, and the Krager SST wheels, the slicks, all that stuff on there. I love that Chevelle, I really did. But then as a kid, I started kit bashing the zombie group build, the GTX that I restored and refurbished. When that GTX came out, then I stole the blower off this car and I put it on that GTX. So I told people that in that video that I had robbed the blower and stuff and the belt and all that off of the Chevelle kit. Well, it was the heavy Chevy. So, but really cool to get this re-release version. Box is a little, you know, there was a time where Revell was really drawing these things up. I mean, it's all concave back here, but very, very cool. Alrighty, so I think that's gonna do it, right? Again, this is What's Up Wednesday. Woody, Dave over at Woody's Model Garage. I think that's right. Is it Scale Model Garage? Woody's Scale Model Garage? I think so. I'm sorry, Dave, if I'm screwing that up. But he does this on Wednesday. Joe does What Did You Buy Wednesday. So I figured I'd do one that's What's Up Wednesday, being I wanted to show some progress on the 55. And then also tomorrow we are going to have Dave on as a guest on the AMC Livecast, which is going to be a lot of fun. I was very excited that we were able to get in contact with Dave and get him on the show. We have a really good list of people coming up here really quick. There's a few other channels. I have a little list over here off to the side here. When I was kind of catching up over the weekend on watching some videos. So I have a good list of 4 or 5, maybe even 6 channels that I've got to reach out to yet and see if we can get those gentlemen and ladies to participate in the AMC Live show and get them on the calendar. We also do have Jim from Southwest Florida's Builders. I think I'm screwing everybody's names up today. I think I got heat stroke or something. But I'm very excited to get Jim on there. He's going to be a lot of fun. He does some really nice builds. He just hit 1,000 subs, so congrats to Jim. And we're going to have a lot of fun with some guests that we've got lined up here coming up soon. And then sometime, I think end of August is when we go back to every week. We always take a few months of an every other week show for summer months. I have a lot of stuff going on. Paul's got a lot going on. Joe does too. And then it gives Bruce a little time to recoup. Bruce has been doing some fill-in, like just hangout stuff. And that's fine. But it's always nice to get some other stuff done in the summertime. A lot of you guys as well got other things that you do in the summer. So anyhow, I'm going to get back on my little motor here. Oh, if you're wondering, that is the Little Display vise. So works really good to handle it and work on it. I love this little vise. So definitely going to have to get a couple more of those. That's going to do it. Let's give you back the rest of your evening. Thanks for watching this crap. Sub, give me a like, leave me a comment. I really, really appreciate it. Means a lot. I really appreciate all my viewers, everybody that reaches out to me, and I built some really good friendships from this YouTube channel, and I've learned a lot about kits as well. Things that I thought I knew about certain kits, I've learned a lot from other people that those were their favorite kits. So it's really cool. There's some really good history buff people in here as far as model car kits, manufacturers, when stuff was released. Really, really cool. Speaking of release, you can tell how I am. 2011 is when this one came out. I don't even remember seeing this at the hobby shop in 2011. I must have just been Space Cadet. I was doing other stuff, so I just wasn't thinking about that thing. Or I probably thought I had one. Turns out I don't have a brand new one. Anyhow, see you all in the next one, everybody. Peace out.